Hi everyone, welcome back to Comic Book Corner. I'm Dan Delatorre. Thanks for joining us this evening. Today I wanted to profile some lessons I learned in my collecting years regarding collecting higher grade. Let's start from the very top. I've talked about in previous videos what you are willing to accept regarding mid or lower grade, but let's talk about the high grade stuff. I do have some higher grade comics in my collection, in particular Marvel Silver Age. Those are the hardest ones to get in a particular high grade, especially a 9.8. So that's the first lesson that I looked at when I did a lot of my purchases on eBay. And when you see the purchases, the cost for a 9.8 rather, they're unbelievably expensive. Many hundreds minimum, mostly thousands because they're a rarity. The paper quality wasn't all that great. And so getting these in a 9.8 it's just stunning to me. So what I did was I settled for the 9.6 because as I looked, some of these 9.6s were gorgeous, and they were a fourth of the price of some of the 9.8s, and you can get a steal on some of these. And the other thing about the paper quality, white pages is what I gravitated towards. Now, no one had talked about white pages or how beautiful the white pages are, and think about it: for all the money we spend on comics, who among us is an expert on paper? It's one of the most fragile things we have. Yet we spend hundreds or thousands or more every year in our collection. And so let's sort of do a quick profile regarding some of the things I did, and we'll end with the elite of these high grade comics, and that is the Pedigree collection from CGC. Let's start right here with one of my better ones here. I'm a Hulk fan, so these are just ones that I grabbed because these are the stories I remembered. And I had seen this one here, and this is Tales to Astonish number 87, and it's 9.6 white pages. This is absolutely gorgeous. Now, on the census, there are 4 of these that are 9.8. I haven't looked, I probably should, but if none of those 4 that are 9.8s, none of those are white pages, which is very possible, the argument can be made that this is the prettiest book in the world because it is white pages, and you can't simply beat that quality of the white page comic. Now, this has a bit of a spine wrap, which is probably why it didn't get a 9.8. It's just gorgeous every time I look at this thing. And I do have a 9.4 of this, but it's an off-white to white pages. It's no comparison. This is absolutely gorgeous. The other thing that you'll find out is if you get into these things, you're saving a fortune. They're gorgeous, but you become nervous by holding them because it's like you don't want to shake the slab or anything. You obviously don't want to drop it and break that. So there's some apprehension when you move them. But once you get these in your collection, there's no way. It's difficult to describe just how beautiful they are. Again, here's from the same run, Tales to Astonish number 89. This is just before. This is a Gil Kane cover, and this is a 9.4 white pages. And these pages are white, and the colors pop on these things. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Again, I think I paid about $300 for this one. For the 9.6, I paid probably about the same. And you got to look. You got to look to see if who's got a deal, who doesn't. God, that's such a gorgeous cover here. And look at the background. Look at the yellow on this particular one here. And again, so page quality is everything. Now, as you buy these, if you're buying and selling, these don't move very quickly. These are for the select purchaser like myself who loves these and wants to protect these. These are long-term purchases if you're thinking about the monetary component, which I don't. I'm just a collector. I know there's a value to these, but I don't add up the numbers every single time. Here's a really pretty one. Speaking of the Hulk, there was a writer, his name was Harlan Ellison, and he was one of the most brilliant science fiction writers out there. And he teamed up with Roy Thomas and Marvel Comics back in the early 70s. It's still Silver Age, by the way, if Sith Lordy is watching. I'm still sitting in my classroom here. We have this ongoing fight about what Silver Age is and what it is not. This is definitely a Silver Age book. But this is Avengers number 88, and this is a 2-part story here. And I got this I only paid, I don't know, $180 for this one here. Beautiful copy. It's sort of a one-off regarding this because this dovetails into, it should say rather, The story's continued in Incredible Hulk number 140. The first appearance of Cyclops. The Avengers are trying to save the Hulk for whatever reason. Then it spills over to the more prominent book in this crossover, and that is this one right here, Incredible Hulk number 140. Also a 9/6 white pager. So this was not easy to find, to put these two together, because again, this one story leads into the other one here. This is going to stay forever as a set. If I ever sell my collection, I'm going to make certain these stay together. They should, for obvious reasons. I have yet to find another pair like these that are both 9/6 white pages. So I've got them right here. And again, you got to be very, very careful. And I'm being very gingerly as I move these. God, you kind of cringe when you see somebody with their slabs and you can hear them knocking and so forth. You don't want to scratch them. You always have to put them in the protective bag and that kind of thing. What's the other thing I want to show you here? Oh, you know what? I wanted to show this with something. That's why I did this here. Okay, now let's get into the pedigree. Those are some of my high grades here. So just a final thought on that. If you want high grade comics, that's the way to do it. Although the prices for those have gone up, I don't know, 50%, if not more. Ones I paid $300 for, people are asking for $500. They're slow movers, but they do move up. It's like buying stock. If you're a collector, you have to be patient if you want to make money at this. Or if you are impatient about this, you just have to sit them in your collection, enjoy them. Of course, be very careful with them. But regarding the value, that's kind of a steady incremental thing. Now, the pedigree, the CGC pedigree, out of the, I don't know, tens of thousands of collections that are out there, maybe more, CGC has about, last time I looked, was about 55 or 56 certified specialized collections, which they call pedigrees. Now, these are people over the many years and decades who are very prominent in collecting comics. And they are very specific. They knew exactly what to look for and were very methodical putting their collections together. And I don't know how it works. Maybe they presented them to CGC or they're well known. We'll start here with probably one of the better known pedigree collections, and that's the Don and Maggie Thompson collection. Those two, I know a little bit about them. Again, they were extremely particular about what they chose to put in their collection, and then they had them all slabbed. Now, what happens in some case when you get a pedigree from CGC, you get a specialized label. I call it a platinum label because it looks like it's platinum. So this is Tales to Astonish number 96. Again, this is from the Don and Maggie Thompson collection. It's a 9/4 white pages. And again, white pages, even with the pedigrees, not all of them are white pages. You want to go after these here because they are, as described, they're just drop dead gorgeous. And I'll show you the one in just a moment here, a comparison. But look how gorgeous that is. The colors pop. There's nothing else like it. And you feel like you have an elite comic in your hands, because you do. You can't find anything better than this. You'd be hard pressed to find something better than that. Now, I had a conversation in a chat. I forget what show I was on here, and I have one from Susha News. There's, like I said, there's about 55 or 56 of these, and you'll see a notation on the top of the slab. Let's bring out this one right here. This is Incredible Hulk number 174. This is a late Silver Age, early Bronze Age book here. Again, I'm a huge Hulk fan, and I'm a huge fan of this character, the Cobalt Man, created by Roy Thomas. Now, if you look at the very top, and I hope this comes through, it says Susha News. So it is marked. Now, it does not have the platinum label. Why, I don't know. And I asked a gentleman who was he's very, very knowledgeable, and he's on Sundays, I think. And I asked him, how come some have a gold label, some have a platinum label, some have just a standard blue label? He said, there's no real rhyme or reason. But of course, you look to see if it is a special collection. This is Susha News. Now, I bring this up for two reasons. One, to show it off, how gorgeous it is. I also happen to have, and I'll take this, I should have taken these out before starting the show, yet another Incredible Hulk 174, 9.6 white pages. Now, you won't be able to tell. I can tell by looking at them, but if you do a side-by-side, and if you were here in person, the Sushin News Pedigree is by far, pardon me, I should say it's a very noticeable difference regarding its quality. One is very much prettier than the other. It just is. And the Sushin News one is just, the colors are a little more crisp. The comic itself is crisp. The corners are crisp. Everything about it is very professional and something a professional collector would create. But I do have a comparison. So just to let you know, there is a reason why these pedigrees are promoted. It's because, again, the quality is just, it's unmatched. It's absolutely unmatched. So that's my other one here. I got a couple more to show you. And I guess we'll end it on this one here. Let's do this one. I'll just do it right here. This is a platinum label. This is a Murphy Anderson file copy. And it is Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, 9.6 white pages, number 137. This is Jack Kirby art, by the way. When Jack Kirby left Marvel for a while, he went to DC in the early 70s, and he did Superman, he did New Gods, he did several other titles The Forever People, that was another one that they did. And he was more God-oriented, and he was able to be himself without Stan Lee and the Marvel bullpen. But this is one of the things he did. This is the first appearance, and it doesn't say so, of a character called the DN Alien, just what he called it. But anyway, the Murphy Anderson file copy is interesting. I was on a show called The Hunt, and there's a gentleman who's very knowledgeable called the Doc. He's an actual doctor. He's a physician or surgeon, actually. So he's got deep pockets. And he kind of challenged me on this one, and I said, why? He said, well, Murphy Anderson would, like many collectors, get the best of the best and go through when the comics came out. He grabbed this one among thousands of others. I don't know how big his collection was. And he'd put it in a file, hence the Murphy Anderson File Company. And his complaint was that no kid ever read it, and it shouldn't be a pedigree, blah, blah, blah. I don't agree. And I basically said to him, or I should have said to him, that, you have a complaint, go to CGC. They're the ones who came up with this thing. I don't have a problem with the way he stored these, because who would not want to have comics in your collection stored the way these are, and to be brought out decades later as pristine as these are. So this is, again, just a gorgeous copy here. So Murphy Anderson File Company copy. Let's end on this last one here, and then I'll go to another subject in another video. But I want to show you the elite category that I have here. I'm very proud of these. I thought I had 5 of these. I'm just showing 4. Maybe I'm mistaken. My collection has gotten so vast, I literally forgotten what I have in my collection. And I go through the boxes from time to time, and I open them up, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I had it, or I didn't know I had it. That kind of thing. That's how long of a collector I've been. So that's kind of fun. It's like having your own personal comic shop. So this one here is a John G. I'm going to butcher this name here, Fantuccio collection, and this is a blue label. This is Incredible Hulk number 142, yet another Roy Thomas story, and this is the second appearance of the incarnation of the Valkyrie. What was this again? What kind of Valkyrie was this? Oh, this was, by the way, this was a story inspired by Tom Wolfe's Radical Chick. It's obviously a kind of a, I don't know, bohemian type story back in the late 60s, early 70s. Roy Thomas was a very thoughtful creator and a thoughtful writer, and I enjoy his works to this day. But this is a 9.4, again, white pages. So these are just gorgeous. You can't beat them. You can't compare them to anything else unless there is a 9.6 or 9.8 out there. But I bring this up for a few reasons. If you want higher grade comics in your collection, you have to be, as I always say, patient and diligent, and look for the opportunities when they present themselves. These are all exactly that. When I had found some of these, I said, yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to get this comic here and just really love and appreciate it. And again, it's just, it doesn't get much better than this, guys. These collections are just absolutely gorgeous, absolutely fabulous. And And again, I didn't focus on the 9.8. I scaled back to the 9.6, even the 9.4. Now, the prices for these have gone up, like I said, maybe 50% on average from when I bought them about 5 years ago or so. So today, if you're on a budget, there's nothing wrong with getting a 9.2 or even a 9.0 white. And again, white pages, and as long as it presents well, and you can save a lot more money. You don't have to spend what I spent. I was just looking up what I spent on because eBay has a list of all the stuff you bought, which is very, very nice because you can go back to do some price comparisons. But as these prices go up, again, don't be afraid to get the 9.2 or the 9.0, even the 8.5. I'll profile some of those in the next episode. But this is just a thought regarding if you want to move forward with your collection and have some of these high grades. As I said, there's nothing else like them, and they're in elite category. I'd like to get more. In fact, I'm actually bidding. I won't say what the bid ends on Sunday. I won't say what it is. It's a pedigree, and and I'm not going to say any more. If I get it, I'll let you know, and if I don't get it, I'll let you know. But I'm looking into the pedigrees to see what I can get. These are ones that I'm just, again, these are the elite of my collection. I wish I had more, and maybe I will. Anyway, let me know if you guys have any in your collections, or what high-grade comics you have, and are they white pages? Because you compare them to the off-white to white pages, and of course the off-white pages, and it keeps going downhill from there. White pages is where it's at. My assumption, not being an expert, that there's more moisture still in the paper. The colors pop; they're like nothing other. And I just wanted to show you some of the ones I have and why you should consider getting some of those. Everyone, thanks for joining. Please appreciate all the support I've been getting the last several weeks here. If you comment, like, and subscribe, I respond to every comment. And if you have any questions, or if there's any subject you wish me to cover, I've got 50 years of experience. I'm certain I can come up with something. Anyway, thanks for joining. I'm Dan Delatorre, and this is Comic Book Corner.